Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about Wing Chun. I haven't made one of these in a long time, so here we go. First thing that you should know about any martial art really is when was it created, how it was created, what's the history behind it, because in order to adapt the style into modern day, you have to know what the style had and what the style was missing. Boxing is made for the ring. It's made for, there's no two-hand punching. There is no long-term clenching. There's no takedowns. There's no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style, wrestling style movement. Right, that's boxing. So boxing, of course, if you add kicking, if you add takedowns, if you add wrestling, if you add Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's no longer a complete system because it doesn't have a defense against those things. So when you go and you learn Wing Chun, and you want to be a Wing Chun style only fighter, you want to fight using only Wing Chun to show everyone that Wing Chun is working, it's critical that you understand how Wing Chun was created. And you have to understand what limitations this form of Kung Fu has. Right? So first you go back in history. I don't care what the history says. Basically, Wing Chun is made by a girl. Theoretically, the girl was watching a crane fight a snake. Now, what this symbolizes is the crane, of course, is blocking the snake, okay, from biting at critical areas. And the snake is trying to strike critical areas. Okay, so from this, you come up with the idea of Wing Chun. Strike at the key area and block when they try to attack your key area. It's which one has the advantage. So on the attack, you attack the key areas. On the defense, you protect the key areas. Okay. Now, in order to understand fully the martial art, we must try to derive it, right? It's just like a proof in mathematics. If you want to prove something is true, you prove it using a proof. With martial arts that already are pretty modern and teachers have, teachers have taken the martial arts and successfully passed it down to future generations. Those martial arts is enough to follow, right? Because you have to complete book, right? It's like you have a book of mathematics, right? It's on 100 pages long, and then this subject has 100 pages out of 100 pages. This subject has 3 pages missing. So all of a sudden, are you able to follow the book exactly? No. It's not. Okay, a lot of Kung Fu practitioners, they think, oh, we have most of this system, it's good enough. We have 99%, we have 98%, we have 96%, we have 95%. It's also, all 90% is a very high percentage of the original system that we have. That's enough. No, that's not true. You need the complete system in order to use it. Right? It's like if your car is missing a part. It's not enough for your car to have 95% of the parts. Even 99% of the parts, it's not enough. In order to make it work, you need 100% of the parts. You need 100% of the system. Now, I'm going to try my best to kind of give you guys ideas on how to do the system properly. The first thing, okay, that comes from the snake, okay, is the chain punch. Okay. Chain punch, because I don't practice it, I cannot do the proper chain punch. The chain punch is, first of all, let me just say that Wing Chun is meant to be bare fist. Okay, that's why the chain punch is so effective. When you put a pillow around your hand and you do the chain punch, which is based on speed, it automatically becomes pretty bad. Right? So you have to, if you're competing, usually you have to use thinner gloves or bare fist, just thinner gloves. Ask for thinner gloves. And you go here. So you have to practice the trajectory of the chain punch. It has to be exactly exactly the middle. So see, I don't have it practiced, so it's not automatic. Okay, your chain punch really should be automatic. Or it's just like jabs. But it's the same every time. There's no more to the left. It's this thing where it's always the same. Okay, always the same. Okay? What do you do with your chain punch? Okay? What do I do with my chain? Chain punch really is a gun. That's where they got the idea of. They say it's the snake, it's not the snake. It's a gun. Okay, gun. Boom. Okay, accuracy. It's an arrow. That's what the chain punch. Chain punch actually it is very, very long. Okay. So if I'm like okay, if I'm like this, okay, this is why you have to understand, right? I'm trying to help you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. It's very deep. So when I'm in my boxing stance and I'm like this, right? The thing is my one arm, my one side of my torso is facing sideways, right? But just because Wing Chun was made long before, first of all, does not mean that there was no boxing. Of course, there's boxing, but the thing is, when you stand like this, right? They block this one. It's very easy to counter parry the jab. Okay, so let me show you when they are completely sideways like this, it's very easy to parry, right? Because you don't have to worry about the other hand. So let me show if my partner is here, and just this is enough, right? Boom, boom, boom. This is enough. Boom, boom. See that? 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. That's it. Okay, 1, 2. All right. So with my Wing Chun stance, this is the idea. So many people, they don't have the 100% understanding. Yeah, cannot use this system because you know the 95%, but you don't know the 100. This is the center line. Center line should be in your mind naturally. When you're fighting, you should always have intuition. Where's center line? The whole point of this thing, okay, of this boom, boom, is not for you to stay. I'm not practicing Wing Chun, but if you practice Wing Chun, it's not for you to stay in the same spot and do it in the same spot every time. You can, but sometimes you have to go outside to do it. Sometimes go in the park, in the backyard. Okay, so in all situations, you are able to search for and know the center point. This is even why they do the form. A lot of people, they do the form and they don't understand why you're doing the form. Why do you need to be so precise about this? Why you do this so slowly? This is to trace out your center line, okay? This. Trace out your center. Your center is critical, okay? Because if you know your center line, first of all, you know the distance. This is why you stand with your center line towards his center line, or towards the closest thing that you're aiming at. It's because when you are in a boxing stance, and you're moving back and forth, or you step in your back, your center line shifts, and your distance changes, right? If I'm going to go boom, forward, back, forward, this alters my structure, and my center line switches, my center line changes, all right? And the distance, look at this, okay? This is the distance, right? If I step forward, so again, the way that you step forward, the type of step that you take, you cannot think too much about it when you're boxing. So your distance is always not perfectly measured, right? This distance is rough, right? But when you stand in a stance like this, and when you Wing Chun, it's only turn. You don't initiate. There's no way you can step, right? This has come from the crane. The crane let the snake come. If the crane was moving, then the snake could attack, right? If the crane is moving, the snake come attack, right? Because it's moving, you cannot measure. But when the crane just stand there, wait for the snake to come, then you control. Okay, you just. This is why you like this. Okay, this. You can move around very slowly, just small steps. Adjust. Don't initiate. Adjust. Right? Adjust. Okay. And center line. Okay. Why center line? Because if you have the center line, you have the shortest distance. Unless their arm is way larger, you have the shortest distance. And you point, okay? No matter how strong they are, okay? If they hit something, it's a big problem. Okay, so if I'm here and I have this, and they come, okay, and they hit my arm, all of a sudden it's not a big deal. Because the skeletal structure is very powerful. Right? We have the liver, but that's because there's a gap in the structure, in a gap in the skeleton. Right? If they hit you on the arm, on the elbow, okay, if you don't count the head because it has knockout, but if they hit you there, if they hit you and then we don't count leg, okay? Leg kick is one thing because leg kick is very. But if you're just doing hands, okay, that's why box. That's why in Wing Chun they apply the chi sao, which is to get you close, comfortable close. You want to be more comfortable close than they are comfortable close. So you go close, right? If you back off and you let them come, it's not. Okay, but it's a different thing. This is what you need to know. You need to know what it means, Wing Chun. You have to know how it works, Wing Chun. You cannot, oh, okay, I go around, technique. So many professional people, they like, oh, I know this. But they cannot. Because it's not realistic. They know 95% and then from the teacher, and then they think they're able to fight. You're not. Okay, so talk about pairing. Okay, pairing is it's almost like when you're ready, you go. The aim of a parry in Wing Chun is an attacking one. You never want to defend using a parry. To defend, you should be throwing a chain punch. Do you get? So if he's too strong, coming too strong, you switch. Okay, you switch. What was it? Okay, so when you come using it's you should use it to attack, right? An attack, it should always be is you want to switch to attack always. It's almost like sometimes in Wing Chun comes, it's a curve, right? It come, you defend a little bit, and then boom, you attack after, right after. It's always, it's like, so this is why people do the exercise of doom, 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 doom. So this push hands. Push hands is the whole reason of push hands is feel yin and yang, attack and defense. When do I switch attack to defense? When do I attack? When do I switch attack to defense? So that's what it is. That's the purpose of the parries. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot that you can learn, right? So the 108 forms really is the order. That's what matters, right? People. So basically, if I'm here, right, I really this is the traditional stance in Wing Chun. But one day you're gonna get in a fight and you're gonna realize that you're never gonna hold that stance. Okay, so you shift. And you're like, that's not Wing Chun anymore, no, but you can still have your torso facing. And really, I mean, I would like to say use just Wing Chun, right? But I have to say that actually, if you want to use Wing Chun, you pretty much have to use boxing with the boxing gloves. Because I'm not saying use the, you know, big whooping blows. You still want to use the chain punch, especially because the thing is, one reason you use the chain punch is when you chain punch the arms, they have the arms up. You chain punch them. That is also an attack. It's also a defense. So I'm gonna go with that, but I recommend that you do learn some boxing because it just it just because first of all, if you don't know boxing, you fight a boxer, you never saw it before. Second of all, if you know boxing, it's an additional weapon. And third of all, it's just if you really if you've never seen boxing and never fought against boxing, it's just very hard to do it. So thank you.